David Benavidez had his dress rehearsal for potentially his big fight or big meeting with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez came off his tremendous victory after rewatching against Caleb Plant last night. They put it on air, and I'm assuming they're trying to link the two together in order to successfully promote the fight between David Benavidez and King Canelo. However, can David beat Goliath? David being David Benavidez and Goliath being Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, hands down, is always going to be your toughest challenge in boxing, given the fact that he is the pound for pound king of the world, in my opinion. Now, it's without a doubt. However, David Benavidez is a threat. You have a young, strong, tall, guy that likes to engage in slugfest. He does have some really good boxing ability as well. However, his combination punching, his pressure right now hasn't been matched. And truthfully, on May 5th, what better would there be than a clash between two very talented offensive fighters? Can David do it? And that's the point of this video. Yesterday, David Benavidez crushed Kyron Davis in TKO fashion, and we saw what we normally see from David Benavidez: sharp combinations, pressure, walking his opponent down, and Kyron couldn't handle it. And I don't think many people expected Kyron to handle it, as this was a last minute replacement. He was supposed to take on the hard hitting pressure fighter in Jose Uzcategui or Uzcategui, whichever way you want to say it. However, with that EPO failure in his blood sample or whatever way they tested him for it, he got replaced by Kyron. So Kyron did exactly what Kyron could have done. I mean, you saw Kyron Davison with Anthony Durrell, and Durrell ended up being in a very tough fight with Kyron. But David Benavidez did exactly what you need to do when you're trying to earn a shot, and that's beat someone soundly, show that they don't belong in the same ring as you. And that was one of my main gripes with the Jaime Munguia versus Gabe Rosado. Jaime Munguia is supposed to be this decorated prospect, the darling, I would say, under Virgil Ortiz in terms of promotion of Golden Boy. Actually, when you really think about it, Ryan Garcia is the biggest star in Golden Boy right now. But Jaime was supposed to be that darling after he beats Saddam Ali. Oh, we have this kid. He's young, strong, tall, and big. However, let's give him and serve him up to the fans as this killer. Then they tried to link him with Triple G by giving him a common opponent of Triple G in Sharameta. Then now they matched him up with another former Triple G opponent in Gabriel Rosado. So clearly they're trying to link the two. However, yesterday, you saw that, in my opinion, he got exposed. But David Benavidez actually showed up for his test. In my opinion, he did exactly what he needed to do. And unlike Jaime Munguia, who didn't, David showed that he is a formidable opponent. However, I don't know if I'm ready to sit here and say that David Benavidez will beat Canelo Alvarez. His offense is very proficient. I do think he does offer up the most fun fight. I do think he could walk Canelo down. His combinations may keep Canelo off balance. But the thing for me is, in between combinations, you have to realize when you open up, you are open defensively. And one thing Canelo does extremely well, you can throw combos at him. You could throw 8 punches, but you're not going to hit all 8. And then if you miss, you reach, he's going to teach you. And David Benavidez, I know this isn't a bodybuilding competition, but do you think he could sustain a daunting body attack from Canelo Alvarez? If you really think about it, yeah, you can throw 8 punches, but after you throw that 8, Canelo's going to dig into that well and basically test you. Because at the end of the day, Canelo takes you into deep waters and drowns you with his tremendous power and tremendous offensive IQ. That's one thing upon rewatching the Caleb Plant versus Canelo Alvarez, you saw a tremendous IQ of when to punch. You don't have to hit your opponent all the time, but you hit a shoulder, you hit an elbow, you hit the ribs, you hit their back. These are all body shots. Anything not to the head is a body shot. And I feel like David does throw a lot of punches, but in a war with Canelo, Canelo's not going to get tired. And I don't think David can hurt Canelo. Canelo's been hit by Kovalev at 175. He's been hit by Triple G. But David is taller. I think the height is going to cause some problems for Canelo. However, I also think the height is a detriment for David in this fight. I think Canelo is going to slice him up to the body. He can land that right uppercut to the body. And Chiron did land some jabs in between. And Chiron is not as fast, in my opinion, hand speed wise, as Canelo. However, David, I do think poses something that Canelo hasn't fought in a while. Someone that's young, willing, and not really going to give a fuck when he's in the ring. David is going to throw his combinations no matter what. He doesn't care if he's in there with Superman, God, Goku, whoever he's in the fight with, he is going to do what David does. And when you believe in what you believe in and you believe in your style and you know your identity, you're not going to try to outbox Canelo. You're not going to sit there and completely change your game plan and overthink. Someone like David is the most dangerous, in my opinion, because he does have that wild card factor of either you're going to do me or I'm going to do you. But regardless, he knows exactly who he is in that ring. And against Canelo, I feel like Caleb Plant lost that identity a little bit upon rewatching. He was boxing in the beginning, moving around, and then he started to get a little brave. And I get against Canelo, you have to get him to respect you or he's going to walk through you. And I felt like Caleb tried to do that and then got a little too comfortable doing so. And that's when he got caught with the hook. He kept looking for the body hook and standing in front of Canelo and eventually got caught. With David Benavidez, David's going to throw combinations going forwards. He's going to throw combinations going backwards. He's going to go on the inside, go to Canelo's body. He's going to try to back him up and walk him down and use his physical strength. However, do you think David is stronger than Canelo? Again, this is not a bodybuilding competition, but you see how muscular and how strong Canelo Alvarez is. He essentially pressed and walked down someone like Caleb Plant, who was jacked. I mean, if you look at Caleb, physically was a specimen, in shape, ripped. David walks around probably 200 pounds minimum, in my opinion, maybe even 195. And I think David is a fantastic fighter. I love what he brings to the table, and he's very young, but I just don't see David Benavidez being the answer to the Canelo puzzle. And like, I hate saying this and retracting my statements, but I said it before and I'm not going to retract my statement. Nobody is going to beat Canelo. The only person I could maybe see giving him problems in a fight that I want to see, and this is my personal opinion, is maybe Bivol, but better Biev destroyed. Power isn't going to be Canelo, right? Benavidez, young, strong, comes forward, throws punches. Most exciting fight for sure, but he's going to fall short. And I like David Benavidez. I enjoy his style. I think he's a fantastic fighter, and I think he's going to put up the best fight. But ultimately, Canelo is just on a different level right now, and there's really no one that's going to go out there and touch him. Will it be fun? Will he get hit? Yeah, maybe he gets rocked. Okay, but he's been there. He's been in there with killers. He's been in there with punchers. He's been in there with boxers. Been in there with light heavyweights. Been in there with smaller guys. We just got to stop. And can David do it? Yeah, maybe. Sure. Can he? Yeah. You know, I can win $5 million, but doesn't mean it's going to happen. No, and that's kind of where I'm leaning. Right now, I don't see David Benavidez as the answer to the Canelo question. I think it's something we should see May 5th, and I think he earned his shot. I think David Benavidez isn't going to go out like a punk. I think he's going to go out there and show what he's made of, and his stock is going to go through the roof. He's going to make a shit ton of money, probably invested in Shibu Inu, like the Shiba coin, like he's been boasting about. Which, quite frankly, I mean, I wish I did. He probably made a shit ton of money in that thing. But yeah, I just don't see David being the answer for the Canelo question. However, I do see David Benavidez being in a lot of fun fights. I think he's going to have a long and illustrious career. And I think at 168, right now, he is second. You have to give it to him. Um, he lost his fight. I mean, he lost his title on the scale and also tested positive for cocaine, which, look, I'm never going to judge someone's lifestyle. So that's whatever he does on his own personal time. But the rules are the rules. And I think David is fantastic. Actually, you know what? Let me retract that. I have to put Caleb Plant number 2 because he did just fight Canelo and did do pretty well. I mean, he lost, he got knocked out, but he did pretty well. So that's my episode for today. Follow the podcast on Good Boxing Podcast on Instagram. I also want you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 800 and we're close to 1K subs. I would love to hit that by the end of the year. And I think it's very possible. Thank you for the support. And let me know what you guys think. David Benavidez versus Canelo. You think he can do it? I don't think so, but I don't know. We'll see.